everybody? Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports and the show Steel City Live. If you're not watching it now, you can watch it later. Appreciate you all for stopping through here on a day that's a little bit tough for us Steeler fans. After a tough loss on prime time in a game in which the Pittsburgh Steelers had in their grasp and weren't able to get it done. In a game that the Dallas Cowboys turned the ball over multiple times, where the Pittsburgh Steelers still looked anemic offensively and defensively, for that matter. I know they weren't giving up a ton of points defensively. I understand that, but they were still getting gashed. They were still looking lost at times. The injuries piling up still defensively, and the offensive injuries we all know about. It's just becoming a real trend here also to notice how weird this scheme looks, how lost they look out there. Just really crazy, guys. And this team just does not look right now. And they are in a very rough patch. And I'm not writing this team off by any stretch of the imagination. But I think things are coming down to one real factor here. And it's something people don't want to hear. And I'm going to have to preach it. And that is Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin does not have this team prepared. I don't care what the general consensus is. When you look at the scheme on both sides of this football, he is ultimately responsible for them both. All three phases. He is the guy ultimately responsible. He is the only common factor in all of this over the last decade. He is responsible for this football team, and this football team does not look like it is prepared, does not look like it has a game plan of any type of significance ever. It just doesn't. And that's even in the wins. They are basic, vanilla, and ultra conservative. And both sides of the football, I think that that's the case. I think that there's talent out there that you're not utilizing in many instances. And we'll dive into a lot of that, guys. And I'm going to get into the chat. We're going to hear what you guys have to say here on a Monday, in which I feel like was an embarrassing loss last night. And I know it came down to the final play. I understand that too. Maybe people were saying, that isn't embarrassing. But I thought it was a football team that should have been destroyed by the Pittsburgh Steelers. A team that was lacking key players out there on that field. A team in which I thought the Steelers could have really dug in on and really had a statement performance, especially in a primetime game, and not give it away in the waning seconds of that ball game. Let's get to the chat here. Let's see what's up with everybody. What's up, DJ? Steelers are in worse shape than we thought. Yeah, I'm not ready to hit the panic button just yet, but there are things that you're right. They are in worse shape. No doubt about it. Craig Werlow, how bad is Herbig? Because if he is out for a game or two, could be trouble with getting pressure overall. Yeah, one good thing is I think Alex Highsmith is about to return. Herbig, we'll hear more about that tomorrow uh, from Mike Tomlin on Tomlin Tuesdays, his press conference. So we'll hear about that, I believe. And hopefully we'll get a little bit more information. I haven't really dove into that today. I kind of wait for his press conference to really hear from the horse's mouth what is up with all those things. So, yeah, it's going to be tough if the loss of Herbig, is long term. But a hamstring, we all know how that can go, guys. We've seen that on this football team a million times and across the NFL. It could be something that is very, very bothersome. You're all right, Craig. My phone sucks too, buddy. And I got an iPhone 15 and it still sucks. Biz, I think we're going to see Russ. Guys, yeah, Biz is probably right. And I got to say, I don't think that that's the right decision. And I'm going to have to stand by that. I don't think that that was a Justin Fields necessarily, big time issue last night to where he cost this team the football game. I thought he could have delivered better passes. Absolutely. I thought he was line driving the ball a little bit and lost a little bit of touch last night. I do think that, but I think that there was opportunities. But however, I feel like this game plan, guys, is so bad. So bad. You can't some of these plays that they're running in terms of situationally. I understand teams pretty much run the same type of, you know, play calls and things of that nature. They adjust how they're looked at or perceived by the defense. They're adjusted in different ways. But I do think this game plan is bad, guys. There's some times that you're just scratching your head, and I know you guys out there as fans uh, are watching this game or watching these games, and you're saying the same things I am. What are you doing at times? Why aren't you ever trying to be aggressive? And let's be real about this, guys. When they came out in the second half and Kyle Allen had to come in, he completed that ball down the middle of the field to Pat Fryermuth, and then Justin Fields inserts himself back into the game and they drive down and score. What were they doing there? They were being versatile. They were mixing it up. They were doing the things necessary in order to be different. And they don't do that at any part of the game other than that small sample size. And that got them 7 quick points. And they were able to put the Dallas defense back on its heels. When you don't take advantage of injuries that are on the Dallas side of the football field last night, when the defense comes in and they are not 100%, and you're not attempting to push the ball down the field in significant moments, you're not trying to be different. You're not trying to, obvious passing downs, obvious run downs to be different. And I'm not saying you have to run it in obvious passing downs. I'm not saying that, but mix it up with some different types of scheme, different types of play action, different types of plays in general. I mean, you can't wheel out the same basic bullshit every single time, man. And it bothers me when I I think of the world in which Russell Wilson may be inserted into this football team, this offense, because I don't think that he is mobile enough right now to be able to withstand the deficiencies of this offensive line. If Justin Fields can't escape it, what I can see no world in which Russell Wilson does. And with the way the scheme and the system is currently set up, I just don't know if I can see Russell being successful in this system right now as it sits. That's what worries me. That's where I think I'm hung up right now. Hold on, man. I don't want to delete your comment. M2K8 and N37. That's right. Mike Tomlin doesn't. Craig Werlo, it feels and looks like Matt Canada 2.0. And yeah, and what is the only common factor in this, guys? Michael Tomlin. It's it. That's it. And it's got to be looked at. And the media's got to start. I got to take that earpiece off again. Sometimes I get back feed and it's like those ears in your when you're a singer or something, and I don't know why it does that. But it's got to be spoke of more in the local media in Pittsburgh and the city media system. I feel like they all tiptoe around the Mike Tomlin bullcrap. And to sit here and come on these shows every single day and to speak directly to the fan base of the Pittsburgh Steelers and to sit here and say, you should be thankful you have Mike Tomlin. You should be this, you should be that. He's the best. He's a top 5 coach. Bullshit. Where the results are not there. Just being average is not a solid result. I'm sorry, it's not. He has had more than ample opportunity in order to put a winner on the field, and he has not been able to do it. And let's be honest and let's be real in totality, guys. One time did he get to a Super Bowl with a team somewhat that he built, somewhat that still had a ton of remnants of a team that he didn't build. The only time he ever won a Super Bowl was with a team he did not construct. He had no hand in constructing. Period. That's the truth. That's the real situation in which we are in right now. Period. It just is. And I'm just speaking the cold, hard facts. And these people that sit here and ram this Mike Tomlin is God shit down your throats, they're wrong. And I understand they don't want to make waves inside the building. I understand the politics. And I don't, I'm not dogging them for that, but it's the truth. I don't have no allegiance to the Steelers down there in their building. I don't go down there and have to get a press credential from anybody. I can freely say whatever the hell I want to say. And the truth about Mike Tomlin is he hasn't been good. Period. That's just my thoughts. Sorry, guys. What's up, Cutthroat? 18 points per game last year and 18 points per game this year. A- absolutely, absolutely. What Steelers Freak says there, what John says, absolutely. It's the same damn result. And the Roonies to continue to allow this to go on, to continue to allow an average product to be put out there week in, week out for decade, almost 2 decades now, and be okay with it is the true definition of absolute freaking insanity. Insanity. It just makes you crazy. What's up, Big Sean? Fields has 5 fumbles in 5 games. Yeah, that's not a good one, and we pointed that out this year. That's definitely a problem, no doubt. Danny George, I thought I was watching the Browns playing the Steelers, playing in Steelers uniforms. You're not wrong, Danny. You're not wrong. It feels like it sometimes. What's up, Miss Pittsburgh? Miss Pittsburgh in the building. Miss Pittsburgh in the building. All right, guys, I'm gonna get a drink. While I get a drink here, and we're gonna get back on this whatever we want to call it right now, whatever situation is going on here, and we'll dive back into it. But in the meantime, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're sharing the show on all your social medias. Make sure you are helping to support us here at Mike Drop Sports. We truly, truly appreciate it. I also have some other sponsorship deals coming up here that might be interesting for you guys around the holidays. I got offered one here a couple days ago. I shared it with Sean, so maybe that one will help. It's a discount code too. I'm going to try to do that tomorrow and get involved with that. So maybe we'll have some other stuff that can help you guys out, save a couple bucks. James says, my thoughts exactly, Jason. The game plan on both sides of the ball were horrible. I think so too. And you're going to have the people, and I can sit here and I can tell you exactly what you've probably heard today over the course of the day listening to Steelers podcasts, especially from uh, some of the more steady ones that they're going to tell you this. They're going to tell you, do not panic. This happens in the NFL. This is what it is. This is just part of the journey. There's highs and lows. I understand that. Yes, of course, you are right. It is part of the journey. It is part of the highs and lows of an NFL season. But guess what, guys? This journey has repeated itself 18 damn times. At least it feels like it anyway. I know it's not exactly 18 damn times, but definitely it's been for about that last decade, the repeat performance. That game was terrible from Miss Pittsburgh. Craig Warlow, I am concerned with defense, how the last 2 weeks got run and passed on with long drives. Absolutely, Craig, and you're 1,000% right. And you have every bit of concern to worry because their game plan under Terrell Austin, their inability to utilize the personnel that they have available to them, even with injuries, is inexcusable. Terrell Austin has been in this building far too long, working with these guys far too long for Jason to sit here and can tell you maybe some things that you should mix up that may possibly create more pressure, that may possibly create a different vibe and a different look. Maybe explore those types of things. Maybe think outside of the box a little bit if you're Terrell Austin and Mike Tomlin. But if you're Mike Tomlin and you have your thumb and you're micromanaging every part of the game plan and you're putting your micromanagement skills into effect to where the Steelers are ultra conservative on both sides of the football right now, I think you're doing more harm than good. Why hire these guys to coach if you're not going to allow them to coach? Now, I don't know the dynamic in that building. I don't know it. And I don't think anybody truly knows how Mike Tomlin divvies out the payload in terms of work inside of that building and what he trusts to come out of his coordinators and what he is going to take from them and what ideas he's going to squash from them. No one truly knows that unless you're sitting in that room. But yeah, Mike Tomlin's got to fix this shit. And this got to start falling on his head. And it's got to stop being the excuses of, well, the injuries. Okay. Every team in the NFL deals with injuries. Well, the schedule's rough at times. Bullshit. Everybody gets rough schedules. Everybody has to deal with it. Hey, maybe they haven't had the greatest quarterbacks, but they got some serviceable ones. Then why'd you go out and pick those guys if you didn't have faith into them? Why do you wheel Justin Fields out there for 99.9% of the game and handcuff him into a bullshit system? But the 1/10% that you allow him to go out there, run no huddle, run tempo, be different, put the defense on its heels. It looks like a completely different offense. And then you refuse to go back to it. You rather just lay and wait and just be happy with a 5-point lead and think, oh, my defense will get it done. Well, Mike Tomlin, you got a little bit too much damn faith in that defense. In today's NFL, they're going to give up some points. And just scoring 18 points a game average is not good enough in this league. It's just not. It's not good enough. You got to average in the mid-20s, guys. And I've told you guys that before. If you're not averaging 24 to 25 points per game, you will not be successful in the NFL currently how it's constructed. It's just the facts. It's what has to happen, especially for the way Mike Tomlin plays football. It has to happen. That is the only way the Steelers can win ball games. And yes, the defense is going to look bad a lot more maybe than it even should whenever the offense can't put points on the board. Going out there, getting those quick 3-and-outs, putting the defense back out there. Hell, they would get a turnover and the defense would go, 3 or 4 plays and have the offense would go out there 3 or 4 plays and have the defense right back out there. You can't win like that. You can't win like that. Oh, Joe Vlogs, Tomlin football equals elementary school football. Absolutely. And that's the new catchphrase here on Mike Drum Sports. That's the new hashtag, guys. Hashtag Tomlin football, man. And that's a bad way to live. That's a bad way to live if you're an NFL football team. Tomlin football, ineffective. And if Mike Tomlin, you're out there, you're hearing this show, you better call Jason at Mike Drop. You can email me at MikeDropSports@yahoo.com. You need to hire me because I'm gonna keep you accountable. I'm gonna put a foot in your ass and tell you what you're doing wrong. Hire your boy. No, I'm just messing around, guys. Having fun. I'm getting too serious, so I'm trying to lighten the mood. Biz, Fields almost threw 3 picks. I don't think either one of them is the answer. Tomlin needs to accept that. We need to find a quarterback or develop one. No more retreads. Yeah, and I don't disagree with you about the retreads, Biz, at all. I do not. I agree. I like young talent, homegrown talent that you draft and bring in. That's what I like. But yeah, I don't know if either one of them's the answer. I really don't know, man. I hate this layout. I'm about to switch back to the other way, man. James Bauman, because I feel like I want my picture up farther. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the comments get me cut off. Let me switch my layout, guys, back to there. There we go. All right, sorry guys, I wanted to switch back because I like to be able to feel like I'm seeing you. I know I'm not seeing you, but I like to feel like we're having a conversation. And when I'm tucked down behind the comments, I feel like I'm a shade tree type dude, and I don't like it. James says Tomlin doesn't and hasn't coached a game plan or scheme in years. He has the philosophy to go beat your matchup, and it doesn't work. Well, I think this go win your matchup is a philosophy. Yes, you have to live by that. And I think that is important as a football coach, that you expect your guys to win their individual matchups. But you have to put them in the damn best position possible to succeed. And he doesn't do that. And you're absolutely right. The philosophy, the scheme, the game plan isn't there. He wants to play a brand of football that you can play in the late 80s, early 90s, maybe even early 2000s, that brand of football is not what wins right now in the NFL. The rules are geared differently. The schemes and the way the teams approach each other in terms of competition are vastly different from what you saw back then. It just cannot be the same type of system and the same type of format that's relied upon in order to be successful and win games. Craig Warlow, Tomlin acts like they can win every week, 17-13. That's why every year we go 9-8, 10-7, and get crushed in the playoffs. Bingo. Bingo. You can't win like that every week. Some weeks you can, guys. Don't get me wrong. Some weeks you're going to have a dogfight, man. You're going to get into a matchup that's a dogfight. You got to claw your way out of it. That's fine. That's football. And that's pure good football. I love those games. But some games, you got to go out there and take advantage of the situation. Last night, I felt like with the way those turnovers were pulling out for the or coming out for the Steelers, to where they were getting to take advantage or potentially act on a turnover and take advantage of them, they wasted so many of those opportunities. You score 3 touchdowns off turnovers last night, you blow the Dallas Cowboys out of the water. You have them submitting by the beginning of the third quarter. You already had CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott going at each other. You already started that turmoil, and then you let them just hang around and hang around. And that's Mike Tomlin football. You allow teams to just hang around and hang around. You never put your foot on their throat. You never put the pedal to the metal and take advantage of the situation in which you're in. DJ, what is really going on with GP and Mike T? I don't know. That's an interesting thing, DJ, that you brought up there, because I think there's something going on, and I firmly believe they do not pay George Pickens, and I just got this weird feeling. I just got this odd feeling that George is starting to wear patience thin inside of that building for some reason. I don't know. I can't say there's evidence out there of that being 1000% factual, but I'm starting to read the writing on the wall, and I'm starting to see shades of, an AB type situation. And I'm not saying it's that bad. I'm not. I just can start to see how that snowball starts to build. And I'm starting to see that a little bit with GP. Art broke ground hiring Tomlin. His grandfather and father never fired a head coach. He won't do it. You're right, Steelers freak. He won't. And is that necessarily the right answer? That's the question I pose to Steelers Nation, because in my opinion, my humble opinion, I think it is the wrong answer right now. And you don't necessarily have to fire him, but maybe nudge him out the damn door if he's not willing to change. And I think that would be a conversation that I would have with my head coach, especially after the ending of this last decade that they've had. I would have already had a couple of those conversations, and the third one would have been about to be happening, to where I'd have nudged him out the door. But I would have already had those conversations of, listen, Mike, we like you as a person, we like you as an individual, but you have to change as a head football coach right now. Your philosophy is dated. Your plan of attack is necessary or not really there, to be honest. You show no real scheme, you show no real development, you show no real growth throughout a season. In order for you to be able to be employed by the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're going to have to change. You're going to have to figure out this shit of today's NFL. You're not going to continually will out there this product and embarrass this franchise. This is a storied franchise that, in my opinion, is becoming a laughing stock of this league. It is becoming harder and harder to sit here and say, Sixburg, baby. We got 6 of them. It's becoming harder and harder to just lean on that, when for the last decade, the Steelers have been non-existent, maybe even longer. It's just troublesome. Thanks, Joe. Trying, brother. What's up, Oscar? I'm going to cut back on these games, man. I feel like I'm putting way too much energy into something that isn't paying off for me. I literally felt sick yesterday. It's tough, man. It is tough. And That's what starts to happen with decade of mediocrity. It starts to hurt the franchise in a major way. And the last comment, that we had talked about, where Steelers freak says, "Hey, they're not going to fire anybody. That's not the Steeler way of life. They don't do that type of stuff. Uh, you know, yeah, it starts to hurt the franchise, man. You start to ruin a culture. You start to weigh down the fans and people can say Steelers fans are spoiled. Oh, you got 6 Super Bowls. So what? Dude, we want to win. The fans expect to win. That's part of the Steelers lore. The Steelers culture is being winners, man. And right now, this bullshit that's going on with the Steelers is just not good enough. And it's a story that has repeated itself over and over and over. And I thought for sure I was bamboozled a little bit yet again this year by the 3-0 start. I was thinking, maybe this coaching staff is just getting Justin's feet wet. They're going to start taking the handcuffs off. They're going to start allowing him to do the things that he needs to be able to do. Terrell Austin is going to start using some of that talent that he has defensively, mixing things up, presenting an exotic scheme, such as like a Dick LeBeau type defense to where they would blitz from different places. They weren't predictable. They weren't coming out in the same bullshit sets every time without any change. I thought things were going to be a little bit different, and I thought this team was growing, and right now they're not, and it does become very, very trying. When did average become the norm? Well, when Mike Tomlin kept preaching the standard is the standard, baby. That's when it became the norm, Craig. Sadly. All right, guys, we are here on Steel City Live. We are here on an embarrassing loss Monday as the Pittsburgh Steelers fall last night in a fashion that I thought was embarrassing, in my opinion. And I'm not talking about the last sequence there at the goal line. I'm not talking about that. That happens. That's football. I'm talking about the game as in totality. I'm talking about a game in which I felt like this team came out ill prepared. A game in which I felt like this team looked lost at times. A game in which I feel like the coaching staff failed this ball club. And a game in which reaffirmed to me that this coaching staff as a whole has failed this ball club, this franchise for a decade now. No matter who's on this coaching staff, there's one common denominator, and that is Mike Tomlin. And it continues to happen. And I can argue that to the death because it's just, yeah, average isn't good for me. And anybody that wants to sit here and, oh, well, no losing seasons. Okay, pin a rose on your nose. How many Super Bowl titles does he have? That's the measuring stick. And the answer to that is one. How many of those Super Bowl titles was with the team here that you've actually constructed, that you've actually really been hands-on in constructing, that wasn't a team that was already gift wrapped to Just asking for a friend. Oscar, I don't mind losing, but Mike Tomlin is in purgatory. He isn't heaven. He isn't hell. He's just there. It sucks and it's draining. It really is, man. And you're hitting it right on the head. Oscar's hitting it right on the head, guys. He is in the middle. He is stuck in a severe ego rut. Let's be honest. He doesn't want to taint his image or his non-losing streak record. And the only way he knows how to keep that intact is what, guys? By just being okay. Just squeaking out wins. Never taking any chances. Never willing to put things on the line in order to be successful. And the only time they usually ever do it during the season is when they have to reel off 4 wins to back their ass into the playoffs and need help from 3 other teams on the last weekend of the season. Then they're out there doing all types of crazy shit, and we're all excited because we see a Steelers team that we're like, oh shit, well they could have been doing this all year, but no, Mike Tomlin doesn't want to play that brand of football. He doesn't want to do those types of things. He needs to be ultra conservative all the time, buttoned up for 2 decades. It doesn't make sense. Y2 Kelly 66. Listen, if we don't have a quarterback with turnover issues, maybe Smith opens up play calling for passing more. He's playing conservative for a reason. Yins ain't figuring it out because everyone wants to crown Justin Fields. I think you're inaccurate with your statement. No one wants to crown Justin Fields. At least I don't want to crown Justin Fields. I don't care which quarterback's out there. You don't handcuff any of your quarterbacks. You don't water down the game plan and think that it's going to be successful. You don't go out there and think just wheeling out basic, vanilla, ultra conservative game plans are going to win in the NFL, period. It just doesn't make any sense. Eh, I don't care who's at quarterback. Russ, I don't care if you're bringing back Duck Hodges. Let him play. You don't handcuff him. And you take the good with the bad, and the good coaches understand that. The good coaches understand that. What do you think a 3-and-out is consistently? Isn't that similar to turning the ball over? Just saying. You know what I mean? You're giving the ball back to the opposing offense. You got to take the good with the bad. And when you can get a quarterback on a roll, you're going to rattle off some wins. Yes, you're going to have some losses. You're going to have a game where they throw 3 interceptions and totally fail, and it's just miserable. And we all sit here and we beat them up on a Monday. But those games happen. How many interceptions did Dak Prescott have last night? And they won the ball game. And what did the Dallas Cowboys do last night? What did they allow Dak Prescott to do? And in my opinion, I think Dak isn't very good in my eyes. I just don't think he's the greatest quarterback out there. He ain't superstar in my opinion. I think he's just an average to good quarterback, just average. Well, what do they allow him to do? Push the ball down the field. They allow him to do things that they're not allowing the Steelers quarterback to do. And that is basic, watered down vanilla. And I don't think it's Arthur Smith. I think it's Mike Tomlin saying to Arthur Smith, well, we got to baby him. We can't allow him to get in trouble. You don't want to hurt this guy's confidence. You're hurting his confidence by doing this shit. When you started to take the training wheels off in week 3 against the Chargers, and you allow Justin Fields to throw the ball around a little bit, you saw what that can do. Yeah, there was a turnover in that game, but you saw what that can do. You take the good and the bad, and you utilize your players' talents. And if you're too damn scared to do it, sit their ass down and put somebody else in. That's just my theory. I'm not dogging you. I just wanted to explain what I was thinking. Joe Vlogs, Tomlin's supposed to be this defensive mastermind, yet the guy has not been able to stop a 3rd and long for years. Yeah, and the Steelers have been ultra susceptible to gashes in the run game. You're exactly right. And I don't care what a team does to the Steelers. They can run or throw it on 3rd down, and it seems like they ain't going to get off the field right now. And that has a lot of things to do with, I think, scheme too. Why not trade Pickens for a cigar? Yeah, never know. Letting Brian Flores walk was a huge mistake. I said it a while ago and nobody cared. Look at the Vikings now. I would have loved to have kept Brian Flores as opposed to Terrell Austin, no doubt about that. That would have been amazing in my eyes. I definitely think you were right there. I don't think Terrell Austin is the answer either. I feel like he's been a weak link. Been telling Yins Russ needs to get his shot because Fields, in my humble opinion, been watching 42 years, Jason, not seeing anything special in Justin Fields. Yeah, and I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that I don't, because I think I do at times. But I'm not sure Russell's going to be the answer either. And I don't know if Y2 Kelly, I don't know if either is. And I thought that was something somebody brought up earlier. I think it might have been Biz about, I don't know if either one of them is going to be the answer. But the only thing right now that worries me with Russell Wilson is I just don't see him getting out of some of the situations that Justin's getting out of. Because I just don't think he's half the athlete right now that Justin is. And that offensive line is bad too, guys. It's bad, and it was bad last night too. I'm gonna have to see a little bit more, guys, too, about Justin Fields. I don't think 5 games tells me enough just yet, but we'll see. Hopefully things change, but man, I think a lot of it is being overblown in terms of us looking at the players. I think we really need to take a cold, hard look at the coaching staff, guys. And that starts with Mike Tomlin because you've seen a football team now that has went a decade here. No matter who is on the field, even a Hall of Famer in Ben Roethlisberger, the results all have remained the same, guys. They have all remained the same. And that's where I'm getting hung up. That's where I'm getting hung up. Steelers Freak, the powder keg is in the locker room. All we must do is want for the match. Well, wait for the match. Yeah, man, light it up. We get rid of Brian Flores. Should have been Austin. Yeah, I think so too. Justin, yeah, Sean says, if Justin Fields can't protect the ball, then there is a serious issue on offense. And why the hell hasn't the coaches worked with Justin on this issue? Yeah, but him, Justin last night did not lose this ball game with turnovers. That was not the reason the Steelers lost this game last night. Uh, there's just no way. I think Justin lost this game last night in some instances line driving the ball, not putting a lot of touch on it. I think you could discount it there. I definitely think there is a fumbling issue. That is something, though. I don't know how you coach that out of anybody. I really don't. I don't know what you do to coach that out of somebody. You could do all the drills in the world. Um, I think it's more of a mind state than anything. Holding on to the football, you know what I mean? I don't know though, Sean. It's a good point. I don't know why. I couldn't give you the answer to that. Jamie D. We won't see any changes in coaching or philosophy until Tomlin wants to retire, except that the blood pressure will drop and you'll feel better. Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not like that. No. Yeah, no, I'm just animated. My blood pressure is not sky high at all. Not from that. But yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Steeler Nation, we gotta accept it sometimes. But I gotta point out the obvious, and I just don't feel like you get that pointed out in many other places. I feel like um, if you need a press credential from the Pittsburgh Steelers, you gotta watch what you say, and I think that that is the God's honest truth, and it's a shame. Mike Tomlin looking so damn crazy last night when they lost. Oh my goodness, yeah, and all he wants to do is talking about damn, Dak Prescott's so good. I knew if he had the ball in the last minute, he can make you lose. Well, no shit, dumbass. That's what I wanted to tell Mike Tomlin last night. But you're right, he did look crazy, Miss Pittsburgh. Uh, um, Kelly says, coaches aren't the problem alone. Players got to play on the field on game day. Well, we can still came close. Give Cowboys credit. Dak saved the day with fumble recovery at the end. Yeah, but it's inexcusable to have a game plan in which you cannot even convert off some of them turnovers. I mean, they did once, but um, it's troubling, and I'm not saying the coaches are alone in the problem. No, the players do have to play, absolutely. But if you aren't able to adjust as a player, you are in a vanilla package and you are running plays that have no real concept or design or thought behind them, and it's ultra conservative and basic. I'm not sure how the players can overcome that. And you still, as a coach, you have to put the players in the best situation. And if you want to be the head coach of a football team or a coach, period, at any level, you are ultimately responsible for all wins, losses, and everything that happens on that football team. You are ultimately responsible for it. And that is just the way it is. And I know it's tough to hear maybe as a coach to hey, this is on you, this is on your shoulders, but that's the way it is. But that is the way it is, and I'll give the Cowboys credit. They stayed in the game because the Steelers allowed them to, and they took advantage of that situation. They definitely did. But honestly, with the way the Steelers are playing, you know they would make even the worst of quarterbacks look really good probably right now. Miss Pittsburgh, the scary part is Mike Tomlin was surprised is absolutely terrifying. I saw that loss coming blindfolded in a dark room. That amazing hit by Roberts at the end had me pumped. That was a good hit. Yeah, that play was good. I really like that. That was a heads up play by Landon Roberts, man. Uh, and just think if Minka was a couple inches further ahead from where he was positioned, he was on the line of scrimmage at that time. If he would have been like leaping over at that time instead of once the ball was out, then leaping over, if he had already been in motion, man, that might have been game, set, and match for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we are talking a different tune today. Oscar Tomlin thinks the defense are robots. Dude, you need to let them breathe. Absolutely. The defense can't have everything pinned on them all the time either. And that is another Mike Tomlin thing. We always are, well, put the defense out there. We got to rely on the defense. Yeah, you can rely on them, but dude, it can't be the end all be all for everything. Sometimes the offense got to be the people that win the ball game. Elliott and Minka are leading in tackles, telling. Yeah, guys, and I said that on the morning upload. If you watched today's daily upload this morning, I said that Minka Fitzpatrick 10 tackles, leading the Pittsburgh Steelers last night in tackles, is not a flattering statistic, guys. It is actually a telling statistic of a very, very bad football team in the last two games. Just saying. DJ, at this point, put Allen out there. LOL, he came in and made the longest throw of the game at that current time. Yeah, he played all right. I wouldn't put him out there. Pay for an innovative mind. Oh, let him draft his QB and keep Tomlin out of the offensive kitchen. Yeah, they needed to do that a long time ago, John. Kelly 66, like here we go again. A third stringer quarterback comes in and shows Mr. Rooney how well they can work with a quality passer. Yeah. It's time to fire Omar Khan. That right there I think's over the top. Sorry, Brian. I don't agree with that one, brother. Oscar says Mason Rudolph somewhere rubbing his hands together, laughing probably. Kelly 66 Fields is not getting Pickens the ball, just like Kenny, because he's not the first two checkdowns. Come on, guys. Fields is the problem, and I don't need another loss to figure it out. I can't pin it all on him last night, man. I'm gonna go honestly, and I just rewatched this game a little bit ago, and I'm not pinning that loss on Justin Fields. I'm just not. And I've watched football a long time now too, and I'm not. Guys, we have to look at reality. It can't be the quarterback all the time. It can't be the defense. It can't be the offense. It can't be special teams. When is the blame ever going to be passed to the true problem? When is that blame going to be passed there? When are we going to all sit here and stop trying to figure out what is wrong when what is wrong is staring us all right in the damn face? And we know what it is. And it's taboo to say, I guess. But Mike Tomlin is the problem, my friends. Wild Herb Ways. Tomlin approaches 2010 football with 2025 players. Pickens will not block on two receiver sets. He feels blocking is an offensive line in tight ends. Not me. Deontay Johnson, same story. Yeah, it's tough, man. Today's league is very different, and the players are vastly different. You're right. Roberta Campbell, heck, if they got 3 field goals from the turnovers, the Steelers win. Yeah, they win by 6. Absolutely. GP wants out. That's from Cutthroat. I don't know. Maybe he does, and you know what? I can't blame him. Cutthroat or John. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm saying the right name. Sorry. I can't blame him, bro. I can't blame him. And I don't like the Diva bullshit, but the offense sucks. Roberta Campbell, I think GP attitude is being the problem worse than we know. You might be right, Roberta. Guys, there may be more into that too that I'm not even noticing. Well, I'm noticing, and I said that earlier, that I think that there is a situation brewing. Um, but yeah, there may be a lot more to it than we all know. Kevin Lynch, the song remains the same. Yeah, it's been on repeat. We have been on repeat with the same tune for a long, long time, guys. Craig Worlow, I watched the Bengals game. It was amazing. Then our game didn't even resemble anything close to that, and that's a problem. Yeah, and you were looking at a 1-4 football team in that game that could put up a serious amount of points. Oscar, ever since the Killer Bees, I have known Tomlin was no good, but I get bashed and called all kinds of names for saying that. You're right, Oscar. I ain't gonna bash you, bro. Kelly says Yins can blame coaching and blame Pickens, but George should be frustrated for real. He is our best weapon. Fields ain't getting him the ball. It's really that simple. Get a real quarterback. Hey, yeah, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, brother. I haven't felt spoiled since 2009. Hey, I haven't been spoiled in a long time either, bro. That is true, Jason. I am very upset with this team. That's from his Pittsburgh Wild Herb Ways. George Pickens is in a business. The only way he can grow his brand is TDs and yards. Pickens is not O line or running back or tight end. He's not going to block Deontay Johnson. Repeat. Biz, if Pat Narduzzi can bring in some fresh offensive minds to give Pitt a high powered offense, then why can't Mike Tomlin? Bingo! But it's I get it, man. And guys, let me be really clear about this too. I'm not just blaming coaching, but I'm putting a lot of it on them. And the majority of the blame is coaching right now, and I'm going to stand by that right now until I'm proven otherwise. Um, but the players are responsible a little bit too. But damn, if other teams can adjust and overcome and get out of certain situations, why can't Mike Tomlin ever figure it out? Why? But he's a top five coach. Absolutely. Let's go. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Let's make sure we hit the shit out of that like button here for us on Steel City Live, our daily live stream. I appreciate you all for joining us and stopping through. Make sure you are liking and sharing the show for us. I truly appreciate that. As we always are trying to grow the channel. Sorry, guys. I was seeing if I could bring up my channel over here because I like to be able to see it on the big screen. I was just seeing that because sometimes I like to read the comments. I have the little 32-inch TV over here and as the monitor now, and I can see it a lot better. Um, that I'd not the That's not the standard that Noel built and put in place. The footprint of what a championship team looks like. Yeah, guys, it too. I know it's a different time and it's a different league, and I say that all the time, but man, there's got to be some standards that are held on to. We'll just say that. GP's agent knows what time it is and talks to George weekly. The Steelers' current offense is the Titanic for wide receivers. Can't argue it, baby. Can't argue it. I don't blame Pickens' attitude as much as this is a frustrating offense. Uh, if he had a good quarterback, his numbers would be amazing. Mike Carra, Tomlin stinks. RW is the only hope. That's from Mike Carra. DJ, if you was the head coach of the Steelers this week, what would be the first thing? Well, the first thing that I do, and I'll say this, the first thing I do is I would have today on Monday, I would have got all my coaches together and I would have took some accountability and I would have challenged them instantly Monday morning today. I would have challenged them to create a scheme that is different than what we've been using, a game plan that has been different than how we've approached this. I would challenge Arthur Smith to take the handcuffs off of Justin Fields. I would challenge him to try to stretch the defense and put it on its heels so it's not loading up the box and getting pressure and totally destroying any resemblance of a play that you might have called. I would challenge Terrell Austin to move around some of his significant athletes that he has on that defensive side of the football, especially the young ones like a Peyton Wilson, and maybe learn how to create pressure, learn how to create a confusing environment for opposing offenses, and not allow your defense to sit back there in basic playing cover two and get picked apart. Maybe that's something that I would do. And then I would go in into on Tuesday and I would challenge the players to really step it up here in terms of their preparation. And I think that that's a big thing. I think that that has to be A1, number one, preparation and study, film study. That's what's probably most important at the NFL level. And I would also challenge maybe some veterans like Cam Hayward on the defensive side of the football to get a little bit more aggressive and maybe figure out how to stop the run. That would be something that I would do. And also, I wouldn't be practicing this team to death on Thursday and Fridays in terms of contact. I just wouldn't. I think Mike Tomlin wears this team out. I really do think that that's a problem. And I think that they're focusing on the wrong things. This you don't need to be running fucking Oklahoma drills. At the NFL level, it's time to get out there and really learn and execute your scheme and really learn how to just be absolutely perfect with the product that you're putting out there in terms of how it looks, how it's ran, the fakes, the sequence of plays that you want to run. Those are the things that have to be focused on, not getting out there and killing each other. That's been documented well too. But those are just a few things that I would do. Yeah, Donald, pretty much. Jason, the moments before the ending play during a timeout, I saw Tomlin walking with swagger like his D already stopped the Cowboys from scoring. Ego got the best of him more than once, I'm sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No doubt, Kelly. If you was head coach of the Steelers, what is the first? I already answered that. Sorry, DJ. I read it again. The tape is there on Wilson and Fields, folks. Believing either is the one is their choice, but I disagree. Time will tell. Yeah, absolutely, John. Time will tell, no doubt. This Pittsburgh, he's not. Heck, Allen came in and had the best play success of the game. Yeah, he did. Well, then let the training wheels fly. I'm with you there. If dude costs us game with fumbles, then bench him, but at least give him a chance to pass more and run. Yeah, and that's what I'm asking for. I think more than anything, Kelly, is just live and die by it. You know what I mean? Let it go. And if it's not the answer, if Justin's not the guy, not the answer, then so be it. Then you know. You know what I mean? You know. You know then. Pass was down the middle. Absolutely. Kevin is right. It was the longest play of the game to that point. Yep. Sean, I can't get over 5 fumbles in 5 games. That is a concern to me. Yeah, it definitely is a concern. No doubt about it. I just don't know how you fix it, Sean. I don't know what you do, buddy. At this point, Russ is going to want to start next game. I'm curious what Tomlin is going to do. I don't know. Tomlin, I can't predict what he's going to even do, man, honestly. In terms of with player personnel, I feel like he's poor at that. Roster management is not his strong suit. Russ may not be the athlete, but he can read defenses and he'll get the ball out quick. 9-time Pro Bowl speaks for itself. Come on. Yes, coaching stinks. Yeah, I'm Mike. I don't know if you've watched my channel before. Your name does look a little familiar, like you have. I've not been hard on Russell Wilson. I've actually been a proponent of Russell Wilson starting this year. But right now, I just don't think it's a fit, and that's just me. And everybody wants to sit here and say, "Get the ball out quick." But remember when Ben Roethlisberger was out at the end of his career? What did he do by getting the ball out quick? What offense was that? Check down, check down, check down, check down, check down, screen, 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 and it sucked, right? You know, and I think you have to get it out quick, but yeah, you got about 3 seconds to get it out, 2.5 to 3 seconds. I'm talking about like ultra quick when you just say, "Huh," That's what Russ is probably going to have to do to survive. That's my concern, Mike. That's what I think he'll get painted into that corner, and that offense won't be effective at all. I just don't see that it would be. Sean says, I'm not saying that is the reason for the loss. I'm saying 5 fumbles in 5 games is concerning. I hear you, Sean. I hear you, brother. It is concerning. I do Fields' passing game last night was off his mark for sure. Oh, no doubt about that. Pickens is going to sucker punch Fields at halftime like Deontay did to Trubisky. Then Tomlin will put Wilson in at half. Monday Night Football is on, y'all. Kansas City and New Orleans. Oh, there you go, guys. A little football. We're going to be wrapping it up here, too, so you guys can go watch that. It should have never got to that last drive. Dakota made plenty of mistakes, and Steelers offense didn't take advantage. Yeah, the Cowboys did make a lot of mistakes. Dak was good at spreading the ball around. I thought they only had CD Lamb, but there were lots of different receivers catching the ball. Yeah, he did absolutely. He definitely did. But he's not handcuffed in any way, and he's allowed to make decisions, checks, audibles. He's allowed to do the things necessary in order to be successful. So, yeah, it was just a matter of time. Tomlin always gets out coached. Remember the special teams coach out coaching him in the playoffs? I do. He does get out coached. I didn't even tune into the RV Sports Show today and listen to all of them make excuses for the head coach. Oh yeah, dude, you're right about that. The TV sports shows. What's up, Russ? Yeah, they did miss some tackles, no doubt. Yeah. One thing that we have learned since GP got drafted, if he's not happy, he quits playing, putting forth effort. Yeah, no doubt. Is the coaching, Kelly, it's love or hate with Mike Tomlin. He costs us games, but he wins us games too. But in the big games, Mike Tomlin has never given me great confidence. Yeah, I would agree with that. Play calling on runs are terrible. Running tosses to Najee to outside it ain't his game. He's an inside runner. Yeah, and when you run that toss on 3rd and 8 too, it's just not. Great show, Jason. Got to go. Have a good night, everyone. Later, Sean. See you, buddy. For over a decade now, the song remains the same. Absolutely. Yes, coaching was bad. Fields over 3, Pickens 4 times. Yeah, he did. Best we can hope for is Mike steps down with the next few years if we don't get some playoff wins. Don't see Rooney firing. Plus, he is working on most wins record, and that's something special. Yeah, but if you don't got the hardware to match it, it's not special to me. How is this game measured? You know what I mean, Kelly? That's my question, everybody. How's the game measured? What are you measured on greatness? It's championships. And if you don't got that on your resume, and I'm not talking 1, 2 decades ago, you know, I'm talking a couple, you know, um, I just don't see how average is okay. And the only reason you're reaching the win total that you're reaching is because of franchises put up with the mediocrity and the average play, for so long, and they haven't fired you, you know? Chimes have changed since Noel, but the most important thing is Noel live by and preach by. If you have to motivate, you have to go out and do your job. I will fire you. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a feeling this will be Najee's last year with the team. He's not. No, he's done after this year, guys. Yeah, they should have maybe did a little bit differently. Um, I would have not necessarily have blitzed in that situation. I would have rushed with my 4, and I'd have tried to been effective there. But I would have definitely sat my linebackers right there on the goal line, and I would have allowed the safeties, the 2 high safeties, to play free there and mix around inside of the end zone to get comfortable with who they were going to be on, and I would have also. Definitely maybe even drop back one of the pass rushers, maybe even TJ, one of them, into pass coverage because you knew they were going to pass it from where they were. They weren't going to jeopardize running the ball after that. You knew they were going to pass it, and I think that you would have had to set up for that pass. Totally, Mike Tomlin wears his team out. TJ and Cam looking like it's week 12. They're tired. How many more seasons will TJ have him at this rate? TJ's already wore out too. Question: do you think Tomlin ego might have something to do with the coaches he puts around him? And possibly, Roberta. That could be it. I believe Tomlin is the problem. Me too, Mark. I believe Tomlin is working on what he will be saying in the press conferences. How? I'm sure he is. Tomorrow will be the day. Yeah, Wilson cannot play with this offense. Facts. He would get killed with this offensive line. He holds the ball twice as long as Fields. Kelly didn't Fields run a lot in Chicago, like 100-yard games. Maybe use some of their plays. Seems we, sorry guys. Maybe some of their plays seems like we don't use them as good. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is there, Kelly. I have no clue with the run stuff. Yeah, they don't utilize very much anything. Mark Collins, Justin Fields has no help. Offensive line, no receivers, none other than Fryermuth. Uh, Roberta, what a concept. Have faith and trust in your players that you're paying. Absolutely. Justin cannot even change bad play call to get us into a better play. No, he can't. Finally, someone telling the truth. I just subscribed. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, man. Thomas Breeze, Mike Drop talked us off the ledge last week, shoving us over it this week. I know. I know. I feel you, Thomas. Roberta, I feel that Tomlin has managed to waste more talent and has had to get the best out of them. Yeah, no doubt. Mark Collins, the reason we lost is because of the defense. Mike Carr, Cam, TJ Minka. This year's their last chance and our last chance with them. Yeah, you pay them a lot of money, Mike. Absolutely. No doubt about it. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for joining us here on Steel City Live. I appreciate you guys all so much. And as always, if you didn't watch now, you can watch it later. Appreciate it. And it'll be uploaded soon. So make sure you check it out. Share it to all your social medias, like the show, and continue to push this channel forward. And I truly am humbled and thank you all so very much. So until tomorrow for all our shows, daily upload and live show. I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.